So here's the scene, right? Whiteboard, marker, me holding the marker and writing on the whiteboard. Well, this is gonna be a short video. Alright, let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to the channel where I watch anime and talk about it, and you pretend like you haven't already watched a 45-minute video essay on every aspect of the story. Today we're talking about BEASTARS, specifically the final season, because I finished it, sat there for a good 2 minutes and went, wait, what? Obviously, spoilers if you haven't watched BEASTARS. Quick refresher on the entire story. Welcome to Zootopia the anime. Like most other anime, it's set in high school. Is it Legoshi or Legoshi? Whatever. Legoshi is a big introvert, shy gray wolf boy attending Cherryton Academy. After classes, Legoshi does work as a stagehand in the school's drama club. Another member of the drama club is a red deer called Louie. Louie is next in line to become a Beastar. What is a Beastar? We'll get to that later. Louie is a pish, posh, preppy boy, but he has a secret friend in the school. Enter Lakeisha, a black dwarf rabbit. Whoops, wrong rabbit. Enter Haru, a white dwarf rabbit. And the school bop. I will now summarize each season. Season 1 starts off with Legoshi almost eating Haru, and Louie getting his leg injured.
Oh, nigga! My ears burn!
Later on, the drama club needs flowers for a prop and sends Legoshi to get them from the gardening club. Turns out, Haru is the only member of that club, which causes Legoshi to enter a fugue state, and while he wasn't paying attention, Haru tried to add him to the roster. Unfortunately for her, Legoshi is a devout Christian and is waiting until marriage, so he flees the scene. But the vixen has already done her work because now he's in love with the school bop. Some stuff happens, yada yada yada. Haru gets kidnapped by a gang of meat-eating lions and Legoshi storms the castle to save her. Then, turns out Louie was there the whole time. Instead of helping Legoshi rescue their mutual friend in any way, shape, or form, he waits until everyone is safe and then pops the cap of the head boss when he's already down. Season 2 starts with a ghost rumor that surrounds where a classmate got eaten back in Season 1. The school security guard tasks Legoshi with finding the killer instead of doing it themselves for some reason. After training with a panda, Legoshi has become stronger and able to handle himself. We check on Louie to see that he has now become the boss of the lion gang, so life seems to be going great for him. Anyway, stripping deer. Switch back to Legoshi, and Haru currently has him in the friend zone. Legoshi trains with the panda more so he can both overcome his attraction to meat and get strong enough to beat his classmate's killer.
Something in the way.
First, distract target. Then block his blind jab. Discombobulate.
Also, Haru stopped being a bot because she's starting to consider upgrading Legoshi from the friend zone. The killer turns out to be a fellow classmate and a big brown bear who was gay for an alpaca. Unfortunately, he didn't reciprocate, so he ate him. Legoshi says, hey, eating Tem's not very nice, you know. Because of you, we lost an important drama club member. Plus, he had a crush on a girl he never got to confess to. So Legoshi challenges the brown bear, Riz, to a, battle, I guess. Louie hasn't been coming to school since he became a level 100 mafia boss. So Legoshi takes it upon himself to go and find him, which he does swiftly, and boy is he happy when he finds him. He wants Louie to watch his fight in person on New Year's Eve. For some reason, Louie has bread to make, so he's not trying to waste time on some silly little high school scuffle. Even though Riz agreed to fight at the appointed time, it seems like it's on site for Legoshi.
Come to the car park, I'll fuck you up, dog!
On the night of the night fight, Louie inexplicably realizes that he has to go watch the fight, so he leaves the lion gang to join up with his best bud, Legoshi, that he threatened with multiple guns not even 2 episodes ago. Louie is on his way, but like I said, it's on site with Legoshi.
You know what? When I see you, it's on site.
Oh my God, why are you so strong? Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Why are you so strong? Please, I'm... Oh my rib, my rib, my rib. Oh,
Legacy is getting his ass handed to him, but fortunately a midnight snack has just arrived. Apparently, if a carnivore eats meat, they get an anime power-up. So Legacy does so, with Louis' consent of course.
If I'm looking at you and I'm not blinking, if I'm like this, that's a goddamn sign. That means the bitch got to drop on us. My back is against the wall. This is not a test. It's the real deal. Help me. Help me. Nigga.
But midway through the fight, Riz is just like, yeah, you know what? I'm sorry for what I did. I'll just turn myself into the police. Hooray. In season 3, or final season part 1, we finally get to see a Beastar for the first time. He doesn't really do much for the plot though. Legacy dropped out of high school because he knows that girls are more likely to go for the bad guy instead of the nice guy. Legacy works at an udon restaurant as a waiter and delivery driver. Louis now has a robot leg, and the Lion Gang has a mysterious new boss. Also, Haru and Louis are in college now. As Legacy heads home from work, a Komodo dragon guy is waiting outside his apartment. Turns out it's his grandpa. Biological grandpa, related by blood. So turns out different animals can have kids in this world. Those kids are called mixes. They might take after one parent over the other, but their biology can change with age. Anyway, our local Beastar takes this freshly turned 18-year-old kid on a little spy mission to hunt down a mix named Melon, the current boss of the Lion Gang. Legacy ends up finding the culprit at a party because his piss smells weird. He chases after Melon, but ends up getting cornered and gets perforated with gets perforated with a bullet hole and thrown off the platform. Fortunately, he survives getting shot and thrown down like 3 stories. Change the scene to Melon, and he's getting a tattoo from a sloth. He's bleeding all over the place, but it's okay because he likes it. Legacy takes it upon himself to investigate Melon further, and at the same time, Louis is doing research on a new drug that appeared in the black market that makes carnivores crave meat. Legacy discovers a beach that Melon often visits and takes it upon himself to take a short break. Turns out it was a trap, and Melon drops Legacy off a cliff into some rocky waters. Part 2 of the final season continues where we left off. Luckily, Legacy survived getting shot and falling like 8 stories. It was revealed at the end of part 1, but it turns out Melon is working as a professor at the college Haru goes to. Anyway, he really wants to eat her, feeling all up on her and shit.
Hold on, baby.
Anyway, some stuff happens, yada yada yada. Then it's time for the Herbivore Festival. It's also Melon's birthday, and he wants a grilled dwarf rabbit instead of a birthday cake. Legacy says, no. They duke it out or whatever, but nothing really comes out of that. Fast forward to a kiss scene. Psych! Legacy cucks Haru. The bad guy act is working. Side note, the amount of times throughout the show where they almost kiss causes me physical pain. Like I get blue balls by proxy. Every time Legacy is like, I'll save it for after I'm stronger. I'll save it for after I expose Tim's killer. I'll save it for after we get married. I'll save it for after I capture Melon. Just fucking kiss her. No wonder she just fucking kiss her. No wonder she's mad at you, you dumbass. Fast forward again, and the annual black market gang turf war is starting. Legacy signs up because Melon is the boss of the Lion Group and he wants to fight him in front of everyone, like a little attention whore. Meanwhile, Louis is talking to a researcher who found a weakness that mixes have. Cut back to the turf war and shit is going wild. Melon rolled a natural 20 on charisma and uses it to convince everyone that they should just start brawling for no reason. Everyone agrees. The lizard gang attacks Legacy.
Killer Queen はすでにドアノブに触っている。
Legacy somehow gains the respect of the lizard gang. And the Fox Gang, and the Leopard Gang, but that was off screen. While all this is going on, Louis is on stage with the mayor at a school festival to talk about the furry Olympics.
Motherfucker, run! Freeze! Raider! I think he's right behind me, Raider! Raider, please stop! Raider, you're running a little too fast! Oh my god, Raider! He's right behind me! Oh my god, Raider!
Legacy is getting his ass handed to him again, but luckily, every side character imaginable shows up to save him. They use a gas made of carnivore and herbivore blood, aka the one weakness mixes have. Melon tries to activate his persona, but he's in the wrong anime. Persona! Anyway, Legacy inexplicably knows that Louis is in danger because the mayor's water was drugged with the carnivore meat drug and puts a stop to it. Oh yeah, and he kisses Haru. With that nasty, bloody stank breath mouth. If you've watched the whole show, then you know there's a lot that I skipped over, but that goes to show how much of it didn't even contribute to the plot. Structurally, the finale is trying to close out like 4 storylines at the same time. The black market conspiracy, Melon's whole deal, the meat-eating society's falling apart thing, and the Legacy and Haru romance. That's a lot of plates to spin, and full offense, a few of them just shatter on the floor and the show goes, we'll clean that up later. And then doesn't. Let's start with Melon. Dude gets fired from the university after his whole situation with Haru, and the show just never tells us why. I mean, it might have, but I stopped consciously watching the show for my own sanity. Then Legacy, who never once clocks in and realizes that Melon keeps the strap on at all times with multiple encounters and multiple chances to go, hey, maybe I should account for the gun that he keeps shooting me with.
Use your brain! Use your brain! Use your brain! The thing in your head, use it!
Nope, just never puts 2 and 2 together. And the Grandpa/BEASTARS subplot honestly feels like it exists purely so Legacy has a reason to chase Melon and so the writers can info dump what a mix is. Which I think could have just been handled by having Melon be more involved in the plot from the get-go or moving up the roof jumping incident that caused Haru and Melon to meet in the first place. It's not that the ideas are bad, it's that the pacing is doing gymnastics it did not train for. And then the ending. Oh, the ending. First off, the whole blood gas thing bugs me. The whole thing with the idea is that it's a sort of nerve gas that only affects mixes. Legacy is a quarter mixed. His dad is a Komodo dragon. His mom was half and half. He is 1/4 because I think his dad was a wolf or whatever. Why doesn't it do anything to him? Like nothing at all. The show never actually tells us, and it conveniently doesn't apply to our main character who is a mix. I assumed it would at least stagger him since he's a quarter mix, but are we supposed to assume that he's just immune, or do you have to exactly be half and half for it to have any effect at all? And can we talk about how we're power scaling Melon? His one and only weakness is this random plot device. And look, sure, if a mix takes after their carnivore side, fine, they're probably strong. But Melon is as short as Louis and built like a malnourished Alibaba child factory worker. He gets some late game power up right before the big fight, but Legacy spent like 2 seasons training and doing the whole overcoming my weaknesses arc just to get his ass handed to him by a guy 3 weight classes lighter than him. Make it make sense. Then we get this subpar climax where every character that was introduced in the season pulls up. For some reason, some random ferret with 0 prior stakes that only knows what's going on because of Louis, Legacy's grandpa, a researcher at Louis' father's company, and the 4 black market gangs that were trying to kill each other 5 minutes ago, all link arms and go, let's help this guy we just met and stop this other guy we just met for some reason. It's whatever. None of them know each other, by the way. You don't get to have 4 separate criminal organizations and have a group epiphany because Legacy said something mildly inspiring. Speaking of, Legacy basically hits Melon with a talk no jutsu and says, you've never had a real conversation before. That's why you're so lonely, right? Shut up! Both me and Melon are done with the Disney ending bullshit, so he shoots himself out of spite, and I was about to do the same thing. Legacy's all like, don't die on me, man. Come on, bro. You gotta make it. Don't do that. What? He was literally trying to eat your girlfriend. You spent an entire season calling this guy evil and irredeemable, and now you're sitting by the hospital bed doing the whole, no, come on, stay with me, man. Pick a lane. Not to mention, he almost killed you 5 times. He blew a hole through your chest at the party. He shot you and dropped you off a cliff into the ocean. Chased you around with a gun during the Herbivore Festival. He was roughing you up throughout the entire Turf War night, and indirectly made your life more difficult through the whole mayor thing at the very end. He only makes it in time to swoop in and stop the drugged up mayor from aiding Louis because his grandpa somehow finds out Legacy's in danger and shows up. Like, sure, they were live streaming the black market fight on BEASTARS YouTube or whatever, but you expect me to believe that dear old Grandpappy is out here working a live stream? Also, prior to the final fight, Melon was on a killing spree and framed Legacy for it, so there's literally wanted posters all over the town for Legacy like it's One Piece. After sliming the mayor, the crowd recognizes Legacy from said wanted posters. But it's okay. The issue is resolved because Haru kisses him. That's it. That's the de-escalation. And if God forbid somehow that kiss wasn't enough for everyone to forgive a wanted criminal, B-star BoJack Horseman pops up to vouch for him. The same guy who was talking about turning Legacy into fertilizer 1 episode earlier. And everyone just claps. The crowd claps. We're supposed to clap. We're supposed to clap too, I guess. Sure. What? Let's talk about Legacy, who by the end of this show is basically a walking war crime.
Look!
Let's take inventory. Bullet hole, arm scar, torn ear, missing an entire other ear, chest and back scratches, plural, and a brow cut. This man's insurance premium must be astronomical. Are you a large predatory canine with a pattern of getting stabbed, shot, and clawed on a semesterly basis? Herbivore Mutual has a plan for you. Premiums may vary. Look, I get it. Scars are meant to represent growth, trauma, the sacrifice of holding things together on your bleeding back. On paper, that's genuinely good storytelling, but by this point, it just starts to feel like the story ran out of ways to show internal conflict, so it started throwing him into a wood chipper every arc instead. And there's the Riz fight resolution in season 2 that still bugged me before I even went into the final season. Remember, he spends an entire season training to overcome both meat. Pause. To overcome both meat and overcome his instincts, only to just eat Louis' leg anyway to win. So what's the actual message here? You can't beat your nature? Sometimes raw strength just wins? Give in to your desires? Because functionally, he wins the fight the exact same way every villain in this show wins fights, by giving in to the urge to eat someone. Sure, he got consent. Sure, it wasn't a full devouring, but when you look at the bigger picture, that's the same move as the bad guys. That's not a growth arc, that's just a rebrand. The finale had a lot of characters to wrap up, and it shows. Some got real closure. Most got a shrug and a wave. Haru and Legacy's relationship is honestly the only storyline that gets a full satisfying arc. Kind of. Which is wild considering 2 seasons of Haru going, "Grr, I'm not yours, don't tie me down, I don't need saving, blah blah blah." And then she just fully flips to, "Yeah, let's get married," with zero pushback. Growth is good. Whiplash is not. Juno, a wolf girl who had a crush on Legacy and Louis, stays single, and the show has her weirdly fine with Louis flat out dropping her. Louis doesn't even look happy by the end. Dude's whole arc was about ambition and self-worth, and he ends the show looking like he got a letter from the IRS. Melon miraculously survives shooting himself through the chest, even though he was bleeding out in front of like 100 meat-eating animals and 4 criminal organizations that had every reason to finish him off, but nah, he gets to live. He was built up as this wild, unpredictable menace that's done a bunch of heinous shit but gets no retribution. Speaking of unpredictable, since when is Legacy immune to poison? Hold on, I need to fart. Oh, that was a wet one. Quick Animal Planet segment. Real-life Komodo dragons have venom glands in their lower jaws that are very lethal. They bite into prey or attackers and the venom gets into the wound. It's believed that venom doesn't affect other Komodo dragons. Legacy is part Komodo dragon because of his grandpa. Now his grandpa says, "I can share food with you and don't have to worry story about spit swapping because you're part Komodo dragon and immune. Before I looked it up, I thought it was just a family thing and the immunity was restricted to blood relatives. So when the Komodo dragon from the lizard gang spit swapped with Legacy, I thought he still would have had some sort of reaction since they weren't related, but he was still part Komodo dragon. But he's just fully immune. Like, going off my assumption, this didn't make sense because Legacy was never established as a relative of anyone in the lizard gang. Was I just supposed to assume they were family somehow? The show didn't give anyone the context and expects me to have National Geographic open in another tab, ready to look up whatever bullshit they got going on. Ready to look up random animal facts to fact check this fucking anime. That's not the only thing I had to look up either. By the end of the show, called BEASTARS, we never really find out what a B-star is. I went looking to figure out what it means to be a B-star because the show sure as hell wasn't gonna tell me if they can't even give me the basics on Komodo dragons. Best I could find, it's basically a popularity/leadership title given to an animal who is seen as beneficial to society. So basically prom royalty with a paycheck. And apparently there's more than one B-star at a time? Question mark? I'm not too sure about that one, but I gave up before I gave myself a headache. So the novel B-star role wasn't some rare singular figure. There's a whole club of them, which raises the question, why was it ever framed as some huge deal that both BoJack Horseman and Legacy's grandpa couldn't hold the title at once? For context, Legacy's grandpa and the horse were friends who both wanted to be B-stars, but granddaddy had a baby with a wolf instead. There's also something called a sublime B-star, but I randomly found that on a Reddit deep dive. The series ends with the black market in shambles, Melon in a coma with zero consequences aside from getting shot, which he did by himself, and almost every single societal problems it raised still fully unresolved. Segregation between herbivores and carnivores is a big issue that the characters face throughout the whole story, especially as we get closer to the finale, but it's clearly still a live issue. The final scene of the show is Legacy getting accused of trying to eat his girlfriend in public. None of the main cast even becomes a B-star by the end, by the way. But the two leads kissed, so we're good, right? BEASTARS at its best is one of the more genuinely thoughtful anime about identity, repression, and what it means to control your own nature in a society that's basically built on a food chain with a bureaucracy stapled to it. But this finale, it's got the plot logic of a group project where 3 of the 4 members didn't show up until the night before it was due. The stuff with Haru is pretty much the only thing that kind of sticks the landing, but almost everything else, the black market, how Legacy deals with threats, the actual definition of the show's own title, just kind of gets left in a coma next to Melon. Yeah, still nothing. If you also spent this finale yelling, "Just fucking kiss her!" at your screen like I did, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Watch my other videos.